Hi everybody, my name's Pieper, and I'm standing out here on a beautiful sunny day, and as I often am, I'm thinking about jazz improvisation. I'm thinking about how we can better internalize the changes, the chords, of jazz standards. What does this really mean? To me, it means that we have a deep relationship with the sound of the harmony of a given tune. Imagine that you had to improvise over a song with no accompaniment at all. Nobody's there playing the chords for you. You don't have a piano or a guitar to listen to. And at that point, the only way you're going to be able to solo over those changes well is if you've really deeply internalized the sound of that harmony and the sound of those chord changes. I think that's very possible, but I think it's something that most of us have to work at. I certainly do. And I want to do a little of that work with you today and maybe talk about a way forward with that and something that you can work on to become a stronger improviser and to develop your ear. The tune I want to work on today is Stella by Starlight. And that's a song that I think every jazz improviser has to deal with sooner or later if you're going to play straight ahead jazz. We want to feel like we can approach those changes with our ear alone. I often tell my students, when you improvise, we want no letters, no numbers, meaning that you're not thinking about chord names when you play, but dealing with the music in terms of pure sound. And so today, I want to try an exercise where basically we're going to just sing through the chord changes. Now, I'm off here in the woods, and I don't have a piano or a guitar or anything like that, although somehow I do have my iPhone and a tripod. We're going to do 3 different things today. The first is that we're going to simply sing the roots of all the chords, one after the other, in time. In other words, it's sort of like the most simple bass line you could possibly have. Just whole notes for the most part, because in Stella, each one of these chords is basically one whole measure long. If there are 2 chords in a measure, then we're just going to sing a half note on each of those roots. The first chord of Stella by Starlight is E minor 7 flat 5, so we're just going to sing an E for 4 beats for a whole note. Now, I certainly don't have perfect pitch, so before I started this video, I used my iPhone. I had a little keyboard app, and I just found an E, which I hope I'm remembering it right, is La. When we sing these roots, range is not important. It doesn't matter if you sing them low or high or wherever. You just put it where it's comfortable for you in your range. So as I said, we're going to try 3 different approaches for this. The first time, we're going to just sing the root notes through the entire progression. The second time, we're going to sing 1, 2, 3 off of the scale that's associated with each chord. That's going to mean 1, 2, natural 3, or 1, 2, flat 3. And when we get to minor 7 flat 5 chords, we'll just sing a natural 2. A flat 2 would be okay also, but I think I'm going to go with the natural 2. The third thing that we're going to do is sing the 4-note arpeggio, 1, 3, 5, 7, for each chord. And we'll pick a friendly tempo as we do each one of these things, because it's really not about doing this quickly. We want to really be accurate with the notes. I want to point out also, too, this doesn't really have anything to do with singing. See, I'll talk about this stuff with people sometimes, and they'll say, oh, I'm not a singer. Well, I'm not either. This isn't about having a lovely voice. This is simply about trying to sing the pitches as accurately as we can. If we're a little pitchy, a little out of tune, it doesn't really matter. If you're way out of tune, that might be a problem. But the most important thing is that you're hearing it right in your head. So let's give this a try. So I'm going to snap on 2 and 4, because I guess that's what jazz guys do. Makes the time feel nice. We'll find a good tempo here. And we're starting out just singing the root of each chord for the duration that it occurs, whether it's a whole note or a half note. And we're going to sing all through the changes of Stella by Starlight. All right, here we go. Here's the roots, just the root motion. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. La, 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 All right, so that was just the roots. That's step one. For step two, we're going to go a little deeper into the harmony and sing 1, 2, 3. Again, remember on minor sort of chords, that's going to be 1, 2, flat 3. On major or dominant chords, it's 1, 2, 3. Here we go, and our rhythm will be quarter, quarter, half note. But if there's 2 chords in a bar, then we're just singing 2 half notes, just for simplicity. Most of Stella is 1 chord per bar. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. La la la, 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 la la. All right, so our last step is singing the full arpeggio, 1, 3, 5, 7, off of every chord. A couple of notes about this. We're going to go a little slower because we're going to have more notes that we're singing, so we want to have a little more time to get through all of them. When we get to the bridge and we have G7 for 2 bars, C minor 7 for 2 bars, I'm going to sing 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 7, 5, 3, because why not? I think that'll be cool rather than just singing 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7. We'll sing up the arpeggio 1, 3, 5, 7 and back down 1, 7, 5, 3. So whenever there's 2 chords in a bar, that's how we'll treat that. And as before, when there are 2 chords in 1 bar, we're just going to sing the root a half note each and not worry about the arpeggio. I don't want to try to fit all those notes in. I think it's nice to be able to do this in time without having to speed up or slow down or do any weird stuff. Okay, a little slower tempo here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. La 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 la, 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 la 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 la, la 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 la. la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. All right, that's it. So I'm sure there are other possibilities, other things you could do, but those three will get you started. The goal, I think, is that you could sit in the middle of the room with no chart, or maybe even go out in the woods and sing this stuff from memory, remembering the chord changes, being off book with it, and being able to navigate this harmony. And I think if you can do that, if you can get to where you can hear these chords and have them solidly in your mind, have this kind of relationship with the harmony, that's going to set you up well to play by ear, to be able to be really creative and play in the moment, not have to be looking at chord symbols and making decisions based on letters and numbers, which I don't think is the best way to play a solo. I think ideally we would have internalized this harmony and done that work. And I know it's some work. It can take a while to develop your ear to where you hear these tunes this way. Stella by Starlight is not necessarily the easiest song to do this on, but I think you can see that you could apply these formulas to any tune that you might be working on, especially your kind of 32-bar jazz standards, you know, but you can try it on a 12-bar blues, other kinds of chord progressions too. But I think there's a lot of payoff here for people who are willing to put in the time and the work. If you had any thoughts about this video, anything like that, if you have any questions or concerns, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to get some feedback about if you think this kind of exercise could be helpful for you, or if you want any advice about how you can proceed with it and work on it yourself. Thanks, everybody. I'm going to go on and keep enjoying this amazing weather out here. You guys have a good one. Thanks for watching. Take care.